wave.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, darling.
Hello, everyone.
She was weeks away from giving up. One more rejection, and Sydnie Christmas was ready to quit music forever. Then she stepped onto the Britain's Got Talent stage, hit one note, and her life flipped in seconds. The world saw the golden confetti. What they didn't see was the years of pain behind it, the anxiety, debt, breakdowns, and the dark truth about what happens after your dream finally comes true. Because behind the fairy tale of Britain's newest star lies a story much heavier than the spotlight ever showed. Sydnie's story starts behind the front desk of a gym in Kent, where she worked full-time just to make rent. Nearly 10 years of auditions, hundreds of no's, and watching younger singers land the roles she dreamed of. She was 28, exhausted, and telling her family she couldn't keep doing this.
Clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow, so there's none.
One last gamble, she said, and that gamble was BGT. When she sang Tomorrow from Annie at her audition, something electric happened. It was beyond just her voice. It was her emotion, that raw pain of a woman who's been told she's not enough for too long. Amanda Holden smashed the golden buzzer, and the moment went viral overnight. That was the yes she'd been chasing for a decade, but the real story started after she won. For years, Sydnie had scraped by, performing on cruise ships and in small theater productions. She'd been in Starlight Express in Germany, worked endless side jobs, and faced so much rejection that by 2023, she'd nearly lost her confidence. And even as the world celebrated her as Britain's Got Talent's 2024 winner, the first ever solo female singer to take the crown, Sydnie was privately struggling with something darker.
That I heard of once in a love.
Because success, it turns out, comes with its own kind of loneliness. The day after the final, while the tabloids called her the new Susan Boyle, Sydnie went back to the gym to pick up her last paycheck. She still hadn't been paid her prize money, didn't have a manager, and wasn't sure what would come next. It's weird, she admitted later. You wake up famous, but your life is exactly the same. She moved back in with her parents to save money. Critics began accusing her of being a professional plant, saying it wasn't fair that someone with prior stage experience competed on BGT. Online forums filled with speculation and hate. Some said the show was fixed. Others mocked her for crying on stage. But Sydnie stayed silent. People only saw the 10 minutes I was on TV, Sydnie. On TV, she later said. They didn't see the 10 years before that. Within months, she released her debut album, My Way, recorded with a full orchestra in Prague. It hit #1 on iTunes in both the UK and US, an incredible feat for a brand new artist. Though it only reached number 71 on the official charts, the numbers didn't bother her. She was proud. But the money was tight, that £250,000 prize. Most of it went straight into production, touring, and promotion. I didn't buy a car or a house, she laughed. I bought microphones. By the end of 2024, she'd released a festive single, Christmas at Christmas, toured across the UK, and performed in Sleeping Beauty as the Fairy Christmas. In May 2025, she returned to the BGT stage for a duet of Over the Rainbow with her idol Lauren Allred, a moment that brought her journey full circle. And then, her biggest break yet. She was cast as Cruella de Vil in 101 Dalmatians, the musical in London's Eventim Apollo. 6 weeks of packed shows, glowing reviews, and a sold-out run that cemented her as a true West End star. But between shows, Sydnie confessed in an interview that she still battled fear of being forgotten. Fame fades, she said quietly, and when it does, you have to know who you are without it. She also opened up about the mental strain of instant fame, how social media tore her apart one day and lifted her up the next. People think winning fixes everything, she said. It doesn't. It just changes what you're scared of. Have you ever dreamed so big that when it finally comes true, you realize you weren't ready for the weight of it? That's where Sydnie found herself. Grateful, proud, but still haunted by the near decade of no's that came before her yes. As of late 2025, Sydnie Christmas is still rising, headlining London theaters, performing in New York, and teasing new original songs. She's carving a theatrical career, a slower, steadier climb. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Success is beyond the finish line. It's another stage, with brighter lights, yes, but deeper shadows too. Because for Sydnie Christmas, the hardest part of the dream wasn't reaching it, it was surviving.